Hi. We'd like to share with you guys 3 things we learned about marriage from Ice Cube.
All right, I'm Margaret.
And I'm Byron. We'd like to welcome you back to the Beyond I Do podcast for our Let's Discuss It topic.
Let's get into it.
You've been married?
We've been married since '92, so what's that, 32 years?
How? For the
We
masses.
want to be. You got to want it. I don't want nobody to have my woman. She mine. I'm
Lesson
her.
number 1, you gotta want it.
You gotta want it. Yep.
We decided very early on when we made the decision to get married, and ours was not a traditional love story.
Yep.
So we had some decision making, and when we decided to get married, when we decided to say I do, we decided that was the commitment we made, and we were going to stick to it. So
Yeah.
you got to want it.
You gotta want it, and you gotta want to break down those walls. You gotta want to have the discussions that are hard sometimes. You've got to learn how to navigate your partner's feelings. You have to learn to, adapt to life with them.
And at the core of all of that, you have to know that this relationship is important, and this is what I want.
Exactly.
All right.
You don't stay with a person for as long as you've been with your person and can honestly say, man, every single day I wake up and it's just doves flying. And
But who in your life is it like that with? You don't like your mama every day. Some days she get on your nerves. Some day you know your brother. Every day ain't gonna be
That
roses.
brings us to lesson number 2.
Yep.
Every day ain't gonna be roses.
It ain't gonna be roses every day.
Mm-mm.
You smell roses lately?
No comment.
You get a carnation here and there, throughout the day. It's really just, when people say, I hate to use this, but people say relationships are marriages ups and downs. There are good moments and there are moments that are trying.
That's in anything.
Yes, in a relationship.
In your job, there are things parts of your job that you love, parts of your job that aren't your favorite.
Mhm.
So in anything, there's ups and downs. One thing that he said in the full clip is he said, it's not fair to expect that from your spouse.
Right.
It's not fair to expect that this person is going to be happy 100% of the time, because who is?
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
we've encountered a lot of non-roses times.
Yeah.
And life has happened to us multiple times, but throughout it all, we had to continue to focus on that commitment to each other and remember that we had to want it.
And sometimes it's not you personally. It could be, somebody tick you off at work and you come home and you just in the mood and have to take a step back and say, okay, well, let me give her time to, get a breather in, and then we'll discuss it or talk about it if she wants to talk about it.
Right.
And vice versa, might have something that happen. That don't happen that often. Usually I'm blew it off by the time I got in the truck, I'm done with it. But I will call you and be like, hey, let me tell you about this thing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So.
Or by the time you tell me, you've already processed through it, and it's like
I'm a fast processor. So.
Yeah.
All right, what's next?
You got to be willing to give. And as a person that you want to give to, your time, effort, and love.
right.
Yep. You got to be willing to give.
You got to be willing to give. Being the only child, there's a little stigma that comes along with that. And it was true for me. I struggled with sharing and having to give and whatnot, and not just receive. So that was a lesson for me to learn to give. But there has to be a level of selflessness that goes along with being in a relationship. If your goal is to maintain longevity,
right.
If you want to maintain longevity, you have to step outside of self and you have to think of
You
the
gotta
other
put
person.
you gotta put self aside,
Hmm.
and it's like, when we're going through these day to days, these motions, it's like, well, it's comforting to be able to have a partner
Hmm.
to go over things with, to talk about things. You might feel one way about something, and it might be, well, maybe you need to look at it this way,
Right,
or maybe you need to think about it from this perspective, or maybe you just don't need to say nothing.
right. And like he said, you have to give time, effort,
Yep,
and love.
time,
And
effort, and love.
sometimes that time means that if you are pouring that time into your partner, your
Hmm.
relationship,
Yep,
it may mean that you are sacrificing time somewhere else. But then you
exactly.
have to decide and prioritize what you want from your
Hmm.
relationship and your marriage, what you want from your partner, because the more I give to you,
Yep,
the more likely you are to reciprocate that.
exactly. Yep, that works for you.
Works for me.
All right. Until next time, we will holler at y'all.